Okay, good morning traders and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and a little bit about these webinars. So Monday, Tuesday, this is Bruce at Bookmap.
Monday, Tuesday, and Friday.
A little bit of, we do the live analysis. It's forward-looking live analysis. We'll look at the current market and give insight to where we think price is going to move. This is by design. We have an educational course, and then we go through that course content in the live market so that you can apply what you've learned. That course is on YouTube. It is free. You'll see it under our YouTube, what is it called? Hold on just a minute. I'll go right there. Under bonus materials, and you'll see Bookmap educational course is the third one from the left. And 4 parts to it, and then we go through all of that in here. Plus we have live trading with Jay Trader, a stocks trader, on Wednesday, and Scott Pulcini, a futures trader, and learn how they apply their reading and understanding of order flow. So we offer a complete package here. We also have Tom B that comes in the afternoon, and he'll be doing live analysis as well. Forward-looking live analysis. All right, so this is the education that we have. It's all free. It's all included with Bookmap. Anyway, we need to go through the risk disclosures and then jump right into the market. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Nice, beautiful move to the upside here at 9:30. Cash open. We can see that very kind of narrow range here pre-market, at least back until 6 a.m. is what I have data for here. We're looking at the S&P E-mini. And if you guys want to look at something else, let me know. We can look at stocks, cryptocurrencies, and futures products here. Most people want to look at the S&P E-mini. Therefore, we look at the S&P E-mini. All right, beautiful move to the upside here, and I don't see any reason for it to stop. But let's take a look here at the order flow. And then we're going to give some insight to what's going on in here. All right, so we had, you can see here at 10 o'clock, there was a drying up of liquidity here, but was there an event at 10? No, we did. We had the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, and you can see there was clearly that's bullish. That's a move to the upside continuation here. Now, this is after some news about I think Bullard came out, a Fed speaker, and talked about maybe curbing some of the rate hikes, so that a recession is not imminent, and we can see how the market has taken that and the moves here to the upside, and we continue to look for this move to the upside until we see something different. Okay? Now the key here is to be able to read the context of the traders and the auction to understand if this move is going to unfold. Right now, for example, I don't see it unfolding to the upside at the moment. Now we do have on the bid here, this is good to see this liquidity here, high liquidity in these areas here. Whoops, let me add another column in here. Very high liquidity here. We have 667 contracts here at 38.75. They're kind of pulling and adding here, but this is good. They want to bid up at a higher level. That's the condition of the auction. Okay, but up here, well, we're looking for big green dots. We want to see buyers here pulling that market higher. At the moment, we're not getting that. Okay. Actually, right at this moment, we're starting to see a little bit right here. So maybe we'll get our continuation now. But this slowdown here makes sense. Okay, where are the buyers? No, in fact, we see red dots here, sellers. Where do they trade? They trade down to liquidity here in the heat map on the bid. Okay, so this is support down here. Not really support, it's actually demand. All right, so now we're starting to see those buyers come in. Great, looking for 85, 88, 90, maybe up to 95. All right, so now we're going to get our continuation move. So we didn't quite know that by looking at this here, because great to see that the buyers here, and we have some good fundamentals behind it. We also have more demand underneath here in the order book, but we didn't have the aggressors here, right? And we didn't really quite see them come in here yet either. We see a lot of selling in here. This is when it started to change right here. Okay, we started to see that, and then we see them come in again. Now we're looking for the move, right? And so here's our move, and we're still looking for it to continue. Okay, we got up to 88, 85, and 88. I want to see 90. Let's see if we can get more buyers in here. The bid it's kind of bluish underneath here, which means that there's some orders here, but it's not like in the heat map here like orange or yellow. It's not really high liquidity at the higher level here on the bid. All right, but we do see some in here that there is some interest, but you know, that allows sellers to trade back down to some of these areas like where it broke out from here at 83. All right, so anyway, let's just see if we get more of a bid here, and then we want to see the reaction to that bid. Okay, so let's see if we get a bid, if they bid up here right now. Okay, looking for it, and then looking for these green dots here. Okay, so it's that combination we're looking for. See how they came in on the offer here? That's not what we're looking for. And see how we found sellers? This is not what we're looking for. Now we're looking for a retracement, probably back down to about 83 or so, 83 and a half, somewhere around there. Okay, these are this is context, and understanding this context here in the order flow. Right, we looked for the same thing in here when we started the webinar. We didn't quite find the buyers that we were looking for here. In fact, we see more sellers in here in these areas here, and then we saw this, a retracement back up here, and then the follow through. We knew the bid looked good. That was already kind of in the game. And right now, where's the bid? Okay, well, they're starting to show a little more here at 82. We almost got down to our 83 level, about 83 and a half. Whoa, there we go. There's a move. All right, that's going to be a beautiful, that's not really much of a stop run. That's rather interesting. Definitely a iceberg here, huge one. Okay, 1255 right here. This is a wicked move here. We'll go over this in just a second here, but this is an order flow phenomena that we've seen a few times. I actually don't think it's going to follow through for these icebergs in here, to be honest. So actually looking to see if we get our aggressive buyers in here right now and get back up above 85, and then get our move to 88 through 90 or 91 here. All right, this is an interesting move here. A very, very quick move followed by icebergs underneath by a larger player who just threw in their hidden orders underneath here. So they got filled. They got everything they wanted here, and that's a pretty big iceberg, 1255. Okay, so we have an order book sweep out of the blue here, and then we have this iceberg getting filled down here, right? So this is a nice way to move the market by a larger player, okay, to sweep that order book and then fill underneath here, right? Now, the problem is, though, is it sustained? Okay, if we get buyers back up above this area here, and you can see they're even putting orders in here. These larger players are even putting orders in here on the offer, trying to keep price from going higher. They are protecting or supporting their, I don't want to use the word support, but they're backing up their trade here. Okay, they're showing more supply up here after this move, right below it here, in fact. Okay, does that keep buyers away? Right, and look at again here, even more icebergs in here, pretty big. Okay, 438 have already filled, and they're still in the order book here. Okay, they're still active. So this is an interesting order flow phenomena to watch this here, trying to get price to go lower. Okay, trying to get it probably down into these levels here, We have 839 down here at 76 now. Okay, so let's see how successful they are. This iceberg here, it just executed for 458 right there. They even followed it down. You can see they moved it and then they got filled here. All right, well, anyway, this larger player disrupt that whole move here. So let's see if we get sellers. They're kind of giving hint for the sellers to hit down into this liquidity here. I wanted to see this guy get his nose bloodied. I wanted to see buyers come in up here around 84, 83 and a half, and then trade through it and then on up. But you can see they've really successfully kind of manipulated the market here, in my opinion. Yeah, it's cluing in traders to trade down to this liquidity here. So let's see if we get sellers to do that. We'd be looking for that. All right, I went through that all rather quickly. Let me kind of take a step back and take a look here at any questions you guys have. Okay, Discord, we look good there. Okay, at 7 a.m. Okay, well, 10 a.m. this time here at 8:50, 38:55. Yeah, sure. That's the news. Yeah, and you know, we know this event is a scheduled economic event, and it's not that big of an event, but you know, consumer sentiment, I guess, is more impacted. We definitely see a reaction by traders, that's for sure. All right. Do icebergs show on Thinkorswim? No, they do not. You need rhythmic data for that. Oh boy, this is getting really interesting. We didn't even get down to these. You know, they wanted to get filled down here. It's cluing in those sellers, and look at the squeeze here now. This is interesting. All right, well, let's see if they're going to continue to defend their trade here. You know, was it profit taking? Was it or a position here trying to get more on down here into this liquidity? These kinds of questions we don't know the answer to. We just know what happened. We know that there's a big iceberg in here. We know there was a quick sweep of the order book with a massive sell here. Okay, nothing but selling. I would love to be able to look at the accounts on this. We don't have that kind of information or transparency. No one does except for the broker. You can see the or the exchange. You can see the sweep of the order book. It's nothing but selling. There's not one bit of buying in here. Right. This is one kind of singular atomic event. For you guys out there, especially on Discord, why do I mention that this is a singular event? What gives you kind of a clue into this being a singular atomic event? We're going to go through questions like this, I think maybe a little more often, because it gets down into the nitty-gritty and the fundamentals of order flow. Okay, we need to understand these things. This is to understand these markets. Like answering these questions is you know, rather key. We know there's a stop run here, but it's only for 43. Only 43 contracts. Look at all these contracts that traded in here. Hundreds, right? Several hundred here traded. Out of all of these in here, 43 were stops. Okay, and look where the stops got filled to. At the very bottom here. This is quite typical. Boy, I can't zoom any more than that. All right, well, we're at nanosecond resolution here. And why aren't my stops showing? Hold on a minute. I should show the line. I guess it's all from this transaction down here in these 43. Right. So anyway, that's not many stops out of several hundred here. Now it could be a liquidation event. That's possible. But to me, it looks like someone just hit the sell button. And then this is really wicked down here. Okay, hit the sell button and then boom, come down here with an iceberg. Okay, no one wants to tackle why is this an atomic event here in the order flow? All right, well, let's put it this way. What happened first here? No buyers, right? So sellers, Jay. Yeah, exactly. Not one single buyer. Yeah, Jorge, that's correct. So, you know, someone hit the bid hard here. And we see nothing but trades. Now, these 43 that are stops are at the very bottom here. We don't know where those stops are. The stops could have been in any of these areas here. From here on down, it could have been a stop in there. So maybe we'll start with that question. Okay, so and understand this concept here of why you get slipped. How does this unfold here? This event with stops. Okay, so if you placed your stop here, let's go through the kind of series of events in here. And believe me, this is not a waste of time whatsoever. This provides quite a nice foundation for you guys to really understand these markets, which can be then extrapolated to all time frames. Okay, to understand these kinds of moves in here. All right, because it's really important. And this kind of education you're not going to get anywhere else. I don't see anyone else covering it. Okay, getting down into these resolutions in here, but this is what makes the market move. And in this case, what made it move, not just ticks, 5 points. 5 points. Okay, in fact, we can even look and we can use one of these features in Bookmap in here from the current order book. We can look at this feature in here. We go to configure, we can do aggregation of the book. Okay, and we can go to here, and if they sweep the order book 5 points from here on down to, well, let's say, I guess it has to be down here, that would be about 1,316 contracts that have to be filled. Okay, because we're looking at the aggregation of the order book here. Okay, is that understood? Like that what the aggregation here is showing, like 42 plus another 30, and then 42 plus the 78 here. I mean, it starts off here with 11. The next one is 42. Okay, and then you just keep on adding the liquidity on top of another, one on top of another, and you'll get, that's why you just see more and more liquidity here. It's an aggregated book view here. So if someone comes in, a larger player sweeps that order book, hits the market sell button, okay, and they move it down to here to 38.80, how many contracts do they have to trade to get down to here? Come on, somebody can 1316. No, I'm so bad. I really appreciate you and putting that out, but that's not the case. Close. You're close, Alec. 1187. Not quite. No. Okay. You're confused. Okay. 1245 is down at this one tick above, right? So they have to at least trade 1246 to get down to here. Okay, this is not, it shouldn't be confusing. It should be very, very clear. It just makes complete sense, right? You have to take all of this liquidity and you have to at least go one more to get down to here. Yeah, no, I know you don't use this column. I don't think many people use this aggregate view here, but I'm just making the point here of what unfolded here. And we can even, like, go back here and add up our column. If we look at our CVP column here, and you take a screenshot of this and add all of these up, it'll probably come up to somewhere between 1245 and 13 15 or 16, right? Something like that. I mean, at least from that point, at least this point onward, right? I mean, this is this is what we have here in the order book, right? This might have changed within the milliseconds or whatever. Okay, this is really, it's not complex stuff. It's not a trick question or anything. It's just like, this is just the facts, right? And we're getting into some of the details on the facts here. Okay, so and I know we're all here for the live analysis, forward-looking analysis and where the market's going, but this is a really good event here, so I wanted to take some time and go over it. And it's a wicked event here because, like, as soon as that event happened, now, and we know it's only one event. So the second or the first question I had, how do we know it's only one event? Anyone want to take a shot at that? Oh, you're welcome, Bree. Hi, good morning, David. Okay, so anyway, the second question was about the stops. How did they get filled in here? Well, they got stuffed, completely stuffed. Your stop might have been up here, or it might have been 43 guys with one contract, or it might have been like one player with like and there's probably one player with like 43 or something like that. We can't really see the details down here, and they could have been here one tick above, or they could have been way up here, right? And their stop. And how'd you like to be slipped 5 points? And what the chain of events that unfolds here is very simple. Someone came in with a market sell order or a liquidation or whatever it might be. It was a market sell order though. It transacted, and along the way, stop was hit somewhere, and then finally that stop is transacted. So there's actually an order or chain of events in here within the aggressor side, and the first element here was that fill these orders here by market to sell, and then the second part in the queue here is any stops that are triggered in here, they get filled at the next price, and that price happens to be down here at 80, and that's where they're getting filled. All right, so that's the next event that took place, and then and that's all within one event here. And we know this is one event because look at how best bid and offer update after. That's the answering the first question here. Like, all of these trades in here took place, then best bid and offer updated. Okay, there's two different data streams in here, and the priority goes to the transactions. Okay, and best bid and offer updated later. And then just a quick question, according to Rhythmic. According to Rhythmic, what updated first? Boy, I didn't mean to go this direction today with you guys, but it is good stuff, and it is a review. We've gone over this before. Which updated first, offer or bid? You got a 50-50 shot. Offer? I'm so bad. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's really simple though. Look at it. This updated first. then the bid updated. Okay, and look at this gap in between here. Look at the spread. There's an algo in here that chased down really quickly and filled that in, but only filled it into here. They're not willing to take it any lower at that point. All right, so this algo in here was willing to chase, down a couple points. And this is now here. This is like a vacuum. Okay, is that understood? Like how this is a vacuum in here? Because now let's just take a look at this here. If the transaction took place down here, right? So then current price would be here at actually 80.25. In this scenario in here, if you hit market buy, where would you get filled? Yep, 83.25, Alec. Exactly. So it's because of the spread, right? And that's what the aggressor pays up. Right now, the spread in these markets these days is incredible. To have like one tick almost the majority of the time, especially in the S&P. The NASDAQ, you'll see it widen out every now and then a little bit more, but you'll see the S&P widen out too, but not by much. But an event like this, it's a huge gap. Now it's filled in really quickly though. You can see like less than a blink of an eye, it's filled in. Someone chases it down here. And then basically, if we look at this, blink of an eye would be, oh, hold on a minute, 200, we're looking at 200 milliseconds. So blink of an eye is basically between here and here. Okay, so in that area here would be about a blink of an eye. I mean, this is how accurate, actually, it shows the accuracy of Bookmap. And all of these events updating extremely quickly here. It's amazing. These markets are amazing. And it's amazing that the software can track all of this. And then look what happened here, though. Right? What unfolded after this atomic event. And then best bid and offer kind of fill in, correctly. They update. And then as soon as they do, though, as soon as they update, look at this. This iceberg order here. Is thrown into the market, okay, at the best offer, right? This is putting a cap. It's sealing the move from here to here, and now this is resistance. And buyers, a lot of times you'll get buyers like after moves like this, they want to fill in this void here, guys, let me just take a quick straw poll here. In fact, I'll put this into YouTube here. Do you want me to continue on with this? Do you guys find this interesting? I mean, I think this is kind of rare education to get. Or do you want to look at the current market live analysis and go through that? Let me know here. Here, I can put a poll in here. Hold on a minute. Live, please. Okay. All right. Ask. All right, just put it out there. All right, there you guys go. So yeah, just give me some feedback on this, because like I said, once we go through this, the live analysis, this will add a lot of value to the live analysis. It really will, because you'll understand these events and what unfolded here. And this is stuff that we don't, if you're looking at your candlesticks or whatever, you don't know any of this, of really what unfolded here. You know nothing about it. That there was this iceberg down here, and they started getting filled on the offer here. and they sealed this cap. There's also high liquidity in here, you know, at this area here. In fact, let's get rid of this aggregate view here. There we go. So 132 contracts, boom, thrown right down here as well as a huge iceberg, right, which got filled completely. So after like 1300, you know, got filled here, another 1255 got filled here, plus 1400 plus another couple hundred in here, right? So, you know, we're looking at 1435 got filled in here as well. That's a lot of trading, a lot of orders getting filled here, and to move this market down and then get filled. Anyone that tried to trade this gap back ran right smack into an iceberg on the other side. Okay, so this was you know, premeditated move, it looks like to me, and they got what they wanted. There's no question about that, right? They were able to move price, and they did get their iceberg filled down here. All right, so, and then they got, we noticed another one in here right immediately after getting filled here on the offer, and they even chased. See how they moved it here from here down to here, and then they got fully filled here, executed for 458 contracts. Right, and at that point we're like, okay, well, this is what larger players can, with this kind of action in here, and then follow up support or follow up, you know, defending their plan, kind of clues traders to trade back down into high liquidity in some of these areas in here. I'm really curious that it didn't get there. In fact, you know, I was hoping to see if we get buyers immediately after this back up above these guys where they dropped it here, and get the squeeze on back up into our original idea that we were looking for before this event unfolded. Okay, we were looking for some of these higher areas of liquidity to get filled. And it finally did get up into 90. Did it get to 90? No, never traded 90. Okay, we never traded there. Another iceberg in front of it here, and some front running here, liquidity in this area here as well. And then now we're seeing the sell-off back down. All right, so anyway, this whole move to the upside got disrupted here. It was this chain of events in here. Now we did get, you know, some the move back up, and we did make a higher high here, but there's a lot of selling now coming in, and you can see it starting to come in. All right, so let's take a look at our let's end the poll, I guess. All right, and let's see what the what were the events. Okay, so event. All right, nice to hear. So 61% wanted to see that event compared to 38. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're back to this idea. Well, I mean, you know, this is we see the selling coming in. Now, I pose the question here. I know a lot of you guys know in Discord here. What where do we see sellers take control in this market? Okay, in this view here. Yeah, 88-ish, Alec. That's right. Yeah, learning the mechanics. I mean, I'm fascinated by it, but we want to understand like how this affects the market and the order flow. I mean, it dramatically changed the order flow. Okay, in this area here, and in fact, like it started to slow everything down a bit. Now it may resume if we get enough buyers, but this is where we see the sellers take control. And what we're looking for to determine who's taking control is we're looking for lots of aggressor activity in here. We look for the order book to supply or demand in here. They didn't really follow underneath here, but we just see the sellers come in, some buying back and forth in this little area in here, kind of chopping around a little bit, and then sellers follow through to the downside. Okay, here's another very, very quick move here. Again, looks like another atomic event, very similar. And there is an iceberg on the other side here. So you'll see these kinds of things unfold again and again here. There's a smaller iceberg in here, but not nearly as big as what we saw earlier. Okay, same activity though, likely the same player. All right, so you can see the stop run here. Here we have our stop run. We can see it much clearer. Okay, there was 149 stops in here. Okay, they could have been in anywhere from this. Again is another atomic event because it's nothing but selling in here, and then best bid and offer update. And then you can see stops were actually started to transact here and then ended one tick lower. All right, but they could have been in any of these areas in here. All right, so let's zoom out a bit more. Let's take a look at some of this live analysis. Okay, yeah, I'm still looking for seller here. We got the order book here. Let's see what the reaction here is. I'm looking for sellers to try to drop it into 77, or 76 level. It never got filled, right? So I'm looking for them to trade into 76 here. 795 contracts down here. And curiously enough, look at this. Scott would love this. One trader, our large lot tracker, see that little vertical white line right there? One trader has, like, you know, probably over 700 contracts at this price level, 76. To me, it looks like it is in their interest. It's in their game plan here. And it probably started over here to try to get price down into this area here and get filled. Okay, and they're going to get what they want right now. All right, watch. You'll even see high liquidity probably over here on the bid to skew that offer, and then to get price to come back down in here. We'll look for it. You know, that's what happens in here. Right, this guy wants to get filled. Okay, and let's see if we get the skew in here, starting to fill. You can see a little bit in here, but it's not really what I was looking for. Okay, great. This guy got what he wanted. There's another iceberg here on the bid now on the other side. Interesting. Okay, got what he wanted. All right. Is there still sell pressure in here? Let's take a look. We're looking actually to see if maybe that was enough here to fill this area here. And now maybe the target is up here at 80. Okay, another iceberg. Look at them get filled on the bid now here. They've kind of flipped. Okay, at least someone is interested in getting filled at 75 here. All right, so now, you know, we're still seeing, we want to see if there's still sell pressure and try to go lower here. 73, 73 and a half. But look at the icebergs. Okay, and we're looking for another scenario though, the opposite. We're looking for now buyers right where we are right now. Them to pull liquidity here, looking for our buyers, and then shooting back up into these areas here just to begin with. Okay, 80 is our final target. Well, on this smaller move, 80 would be our target. Okay, top of the range. Okay, so this would be an order flow shift. Okay, look at the bid, looks good. We just need a few buyers in here, and they'll lift the offer up into this liquidity here. Okay, after this event took place. See, look at the skew in the offer right there, and there's our move, guys. Okay, this is why I think it was worthy. You know, you guys tell me, but I think it was worthy to go over that whole chain of events to understand getting filled down here at 76 and then looking for an event change in here or an order flow change in here to trade up into 80. Okay, and it's due to these players and their activity. Okay, now we didn't know that was going to happen, but it was a scenario and a likely scenario due to these events that took place. It's kind of like reading the footprints in the sand. It's like, well, someone was walking in the sand. That's step, no pun intended, that's step one. Now, where are they going? How big are the footprints? How deep are they? Etc. Getting into some of the details here. Right? And we read those events in here. And this is something that, I don't think you can do with other software. Not trying to plug Bookmap at all. I'm just this is unique transparency to be able to see this. Okay, and we not only see it, we understand it. We understand why that took place, why it came up here. Yeah, you're welcome, Violet. No, someone wants to get filled down there, Bert, at 76. And it was a larger player, no doubt, and they got it, right? I thought they were going to get it here, to be honest. Someone really tried to squeeze them though, force them out of their position. I don't know, whatever. Like, all we know is that buyers started to come in, and it looked like a kind of a slam dunk to trade down here to 76. And they went through a lot of effort to do that. Okay, 2 icebergs and a lot of contracts in here. Okay, and then 176 is filled. Now we're looking for that move back up to 80. We're still finding selling pressure in here. Okay, we'd be looking for buyers up here, maybe a flip of the order book from this 80 here to flip from offer to bid underneath, buyers, and then we'd be looking for the move back up into some of these areas up here. Okay, all we did was get up to 80, and we've come right back down to 76 or even 75 now. Okay, there's still more selling pressure in here, and still icebergs in here on the bid buying at 75. So now, and look at the selling in here. Okay, another kind of condition here. And this relates to what we are looking at when sellers take control in an area. We've talked about this many times in the order flow. Where does that set? We look for like strong selling and price movement together. Okay, that it's consistent and it's moving price away from an area. We're not really getting that down here. The selling is here, here, and here, and we're already above it, right? That's why we would be looking for a move back up. Okay, high volume node, high liquidity, 82 looks like a great target to begin with. Okay, also this top of the range here is also another great target. Okay, so this is something that we see again and again, and something you can lean on. You need to do your studies. It's not a trade recommendation, but it's something to take a look at. Very worthy of a study in here. Is look where the selling took place, and if they can be upended. Okay, these sellers in here where they started to drive price lower, they are already put to the test in here, and we think it's due to this liquidity getting filled down here. Still more selling pressure. We come back again, still more selling pressure, still more liquidity though at 75, and still more icebergs. They're still here at 75 with 213 contracts. In fact, there's 2 icebergs events in here, okay? And the last one, the /2 means 2 events. The parentheses of 2 means the last transaction was of 2 contracts. Okay. Anyway, my point is that understanding the sellers down here trying to, you know, move the market and be in control. Well, they're kind of out of control if price can get back above them, right? So look for this, look for it again and again, because now it sets up very nicely for the squeeze, and we're back to looking at maybe 90, 91. Okay, so let's see if the buyers come in right now. We'd be looking for it. 82, 85, 85 and 3/4 liquidity to get filled right now. Okay, there were 83 already. Let's see the move. I'm looking for the squeeze. I want to see some stops triggered along the way, on the way up. These are the weak hands here. They're not in control. They're out of control. Right? Buyers are just squeezing them. Okay, we made it up to 84.5. Okay, pulling back right now, but still looking for the move to continue here until we see something else in the order flow. Okay, we got a little bit of structure here to take a look at as well. Okay, don't like seeing that. Okay, this back up here, here's our double top, and no buyers up here. That's not what we're looking for. Sellers can now break the structure and trade into 81 or 80 in here. Let's watch this though. If we get our buyers back up above 83.5 though, it's again another squeeze. Okay, same concept here. Okay, look where the transactions are taking place, the majority of them. Okay, if we can get back up above that, the squeeze is on. Okay, they're still in control, right? See how they're still in control here? Okay, let's see if they can get out of control here. Yeah, looking for it. Would love to see it, and then this will be a beautiful fill into 85, 85 and 3/4, 86.5. And it didn't. No buyers up here. Okay, kind of tough reads at the moment. We did break that. We do see the selling in here. It's not the cluster selling is here though. It's not down here. Here we go. All right, so we're above these sellers here. Great. Let's see if the buyers can now reach back up to 84, and we'll see if we can get a flip of the order book here. These guys pull at 84 and maybe flip onto the bid. Okay, it's a possible scenario. We don't see it unfolding right now, but we're looking for, you know, that possible scenario here. Okay, we're back to the cluster here. Let's see if we're not getting much out of the order book right now. Be great to see, like, you know, higher demand in here around 80 in the order book. It's just dark, kind of dark in here right now. No, Violet, that's a good question about was that 76 position short covering existing position. We don't really know. What we do know is that it transacted, and that means a lot. But we want to see the context after that transaction, right? And in this case, we had kind of since we covered that kind of micro event in detail, and then some other events that were kind of along the same lines there, we had some you know, potential insight to what was going on there, and then we're looking for that move from 76 up to 80. So yeah, we don't quite know, and we don't want to hope or make up stories. We just know that it was filled. and it was a larger player. Okay, I'm still looking to see if we can get our buyers here. This is looking better now. They're starting to come in, but I want to see them pull here. I want to see them add on the bid, and I want to see these buyers come in and shoot right back up into this liquidity up here. Okay, here's some buyers. Now let's see the book here. Looking for it. See if we don't get the book. See how the sellers can fill this in very quickly. Right. That's why the order book and that reading that in that context gives us so much more, because we just avoided staying away from this here. This is looking better. See them bidding up. Okay, I like it. Let's see if we get 82 and a half here. No. I mean, the offers, they're adding more on the offer at a lower level. Here we go. Here's our event. All right. Do we get buyers? Yep. All right, 82 and a half. Looking for our buyers here. Looking for them. They're getting filled on the bid here. This is turning into a battle, basically. So they're providing that liquidity here, but the sellers took them on. We're still above it, though. Great. All right, let's get our buyers here. Looking for the move. 84, 85. And let's see if we can get to 86. One more rotation. Still getting filled here on the bid. Still getting filled. Geez, sellers are being rather relentless. Yeah, it's looking less likely now. All right, maybe it's still on here. Let's take a look. Okay, now we're looking for buyers though up here around. Before we were looking for them at this 82 and a half when we started to get them. So I was looking for that move. Okay, it didn't unfold. It's back down to the bottom range and making lower lows in here, slightly lower lows. And lower highs here. All right, let's see. Now we're looking though for another rotation. Bid, aggressors, pulling on the offer. Here we go. Great. We got enough momentum. Let's see the move here. 84, 85, 86, 86 and a half. There's 84. Still on the bid. See the bid here? So still looking for 85. There's 85. Now still looking for 86 and a half as well. New high up here or above the swing high here. Looking for 86. Getting a pullback at the moment. And pull back to the top of the structure. Okay. Okay, looks good. 86 and a half. Let's see it, guys. They pulled at 86 and a half actually, so you can float up higher. They're on the bid here at 84 and a half, and we found some buyers here. Okay, so let's see the continuation. 88. It's kind of struggling here, right? So we're finding some selling interest in here. And they may take those guys on at 84 and a half. Yeah, there's some selling in here. So we might have a little back and forth in here. Okay, 84.5 did transact. Okay, now let's see if we can get back above it though. Guys, another thing here, let's look at the opposite scenario here, because it might unfold here. Let's take a look at this idea here. Down here we covered this idea where the selling took place, right? Okay, and then how this is not the kind of selling we're looking for in here, that's in control. All right, they're down at the very bottom, that buyers can take control above them, and they do, and we got the move higher. Okay, so let's go through the opposite though, and where would you guys think that scenario unfolds here? Okay, where are the buyers in control, and where might they be out of control? Yeah, why that's good. I mean, like, yeah, all we know is like the transactions, but the transactions, and we know the liquidity. The liquidity is all documented in here, but it's the context of those of the transactions and the liquidity within the structure that gives us the insight. It's just really these three elements here. Alec, I love it. 82-ish. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of where they took control down here, and this is the kind of strong move we look for. They are in control. Okay, even the pullback here, but even before we marked this up before the pullback took place, right? We're looking for a pullback off the top of the structure here, or maybe right when it took place, but we're looking to see if the structure holds. It did. It made a higher high. Now we've been bouncing off of that structure here a few times, 82 3/4. Okay, but it's these guys. This is not a very good example, because this is pretty strong buying, a pullback, and pretty strong and consistent buying in here as well. But it's this little cluster up here that kind of has me intrigued. And if we get sellers below it, they'll squeeze these guys. And they did, and that's why we came back down into this area here. This is the same concept as this over here. All right, it's just on the buy side, buy volume here. Now the caveat or the distinction though here is that there's these sellers or these buyers are in control here. So I'm still looking for buy side, basically, and the move higher. Okay, strong, consistent buying. Now we even have the potential squeeze. See how we're already above the selling in here? Great. This is what sets up the squeeze. Look at the selling in here, right? We're looking for the squeeze up to here. Okay, we're set up for it. Now, we don't know. We got to go through our scenarios. Okay, it's possible too. And we just have to, this one it gets a little trickier. The sellers are down here. We got buyers above them, and we got the squeeze. The squeeze is on. It's possible here. Looking for our buyers, looking for the order book to support underneath, for them to lift the offer and pull on the offer here, and we'll get into the high liquidity up here around 90 and 91. That's what we'd be looking for, and it's starting to unfold here. See how they're starting to show up a little bit on the bid? It's kind of bluish. Okay, so looking for the squeeze, that would be scenario number one, is looking for that squeeze up into this high liquidity. Okay, the opposite scenario though would be like we got some sellers down here. If we had exhaustion here, and we didn't, but if we had exhaustion here on the buy side, and we got more sellers back down here on a retest down to here, it's these buyers here that can get squeezed. And then we'd be looking for the move back down to the bottom of the range, and then maybe even break the range. Does that make sense? is the opposite scenario here. Does that make sense, Alec? Just understand where, maybe we'll just go over this again and again and again. Matt V. Yeah, I don't know what you're, if you're getting some bad reactions in here. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been following Tom's videos, but in terms of studying the microstructure, it'd be nice to. Yeah, I mean, Matt, that's what we're in here for, is going through the real-time action. That's exactly when we've been doing it for years. You know, since like 2015 or 16. 16, I guess. No, 15. Yeah, you can study. Well, Matt, I agree. You can study microstructure. Here's our move, guys. This was our primary scenario here, right? So there was nothing to say on this. It was just a grind higher up into our 90, 91 area, at least 90 right now. But I don't know. I don't know if you could get that, Matt. You know, from what we're going over in here, all of those events in here. If you did, I mean, I didn't see your answer. Therefore, I covered it in more detail. Yeah. Hey, if I start seeing answers to all these questions in here, great. You know, we won't cover it. We'll cover other stuff. There's no need at that point, right? But we do this every now and then, like kind of take a step back and start going through. Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to tell you when to press the button at all. Absolutely not. This is not a trade room, a trade recommendation. It's just understanding it's an order flow room that is along with our education. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. No, but the issue in here, I think, what we want to get across, if we don't do forward-looking education like this, then you know, it's like hindsight analysis. Well, anyone could do that, right? But we have an educational course, and then we go through it in the live market and look for these moves to unfold due to the order flow in our education, right? So I think that's a pretty compelling argument, like to, you know, hammer the points home. And I don't think, like, I don't see at least others covering this kind of detail in education. So that's why I went over it. I know that you can now, you know, over the weekend you can study, or, you know, after hours, etc., and look at these things. But I don't know if you knew about those things. If you did, just you know, type it in, and you know, we'll move on. Right? These are the advanced webinars. Yeah. Well, anyway, so in some of these cases, this move up to 90, that was rather painless, right? And we were covering other stuff in here while this unfolded, so there was nothing to do anyway. So that worked out well. So let's see here. Yeah, thanks, Matt. No, I mean, look, we're trying to provide the best education we can in here for you guys. Uh, and you know, the one thing that we do get, and this is, I need to go, I do need to cover this, is a lot of traders will say, you know, well, that was great, Bruce. Well, there's a couple of things. One is like, well, how do you manage your trade then? Well, we can go over trade management, no problem. We do. We have many times in the past, and how you can consider that. The other one is we get, oh, this is only for scalping, and that's kind of bothersome because no, it's just we want to go through as many events as we can. I know that's repetitive. You guys have been hearing it for years, but we want to go through as many events as we can and hammer home the ideas. It's just like playing as many rounds of poker as we can. That's what we want to do. And otherwise, you know, I think someone said, I don't know, last week it was like, well, you know, this is only for scalping and low time frames. And it's like, no, our higher time frame, we're bullish and we're just looking for it to continue. Done. Webinar is over. You know, so the higher time frame, there's just nothing to do. You'd be in it and you'd be holding it until you see something different. Now, you know, here, what was our higher time frame outlook and analysis? Well, we're still bullish, we read the move back down in here. We saw this whole chain of events, and that threw off the whole kind of you know, order flow live analysis, and then into this direction. But then we took this knowledge here and then applied it to the forward-looking analysis and this move up into these areas here, right? And covered this understanding the volume down in these areas here as well. Okay, so and look for that again and again, right? So like look where the buying's taking place up here, okay, and see how they're going to be kind of caught and squeezed here by sellers. Sellers can now reach back down to the bottom of the range here. I'm looking for them to move it down to 82.5, right? Bottom of this little range in here, okay, which happens to also be a volume node. Okay, so this is a return back to a mean. Okay, 82.5. Okay, concept here is understanding the condition of the context of the volume here. It's not bad. I mean, it's kind of consistent in here. There's a cluster up here though, and there's another cluster up here. Okay, and then here the seller's trying to drive it away, and then you can see the battle already unfolding. They're right back to it. Okay, now let's take a look though, right? Is there more buying or more selling in here? Okay, in this little area in here. So let's take a look at cumulative volume delta, and then let's also zoom in and put precisely into our range here. Oh, come on. From right here to right here. Oh, it's because I'm in drawing tools. That's why. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. All right. So now, do we have more buying or selling in here? Let's take the stops and icebergs off quickly. Oh, there's more selling in here, right? So here's our pullback. Even though it came back to where the sellers took control in here, clearly there's more selling than there is buying. So this is essentially a low volume pullback. So we're looking to see if sellers still can remain in control here. Okay, now we can go back. This has been a pullback here now, albeit a strong one. Okay, but we're going to go through a couple scenarios here. Primary scenario on this very small time frame is in here, is that we're going to retest back down here to 84, and then our high volume node at 82.5, maybe even get down to this liquidity here at 80. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Primary scenario here on this small time frame. Okay, we're already down at the bottom of the range here. Okay, there's plenty of time to get involved in there too. Okay, and now we're looking for the push in the continuation now. because we've already had our pullback. We've already retested back up here. Okay, order book showing a little bit of interest, and we're finding a few buyers. Okay, it's not much though. All right, so now look at the buying is taking place up here, right? Same concepts. Okay, this is just on a much smaller scale up here. The buying, the cluster up here or here. See the sellers below it? See how they're squeezing them back down to here. Okay, and then now we're looking for follow through. Okay, back down to 82, 82 and or 82 and a half level. 82 looks good. I'll go with that. Yeah, no worries, Matt. No, keep the question as long as it's objective in here. It's great. No worries. Now we're in here to you know, apply what we've learned and have a really solid trading plan. Okay, and order flow can offer you an edge on all of the trading plans. Okay, back down to the range. All right, so this move has unfolded. This is what we were looking for, and we went over a kind of another concept in here about the low volume pullback. I don't know if Techie Girl is in here. She was big on that. McLoco was also big on the low volume pullback. It's a great one. I love it. You know, who's in control? The pullback on low volume into clusters, areas, and then continuation. Okay, so here's our continuation below, even below the high volume node, and it's just going toward liquidity here, right? Back to this 80 liquidity down here. Yeah, where's McLoco as well? Where's Alan? Jeez. Yeah, you guys on YouTube, a lot of nice things over here on the Discord community. If you want to take a look, you know, look up Bookmap on the Discord. Join in on the discussions. Wow, even more selling pressure, guys, even into and through high volume node and high liquidity in here. There's a lot of selling. Okay, so they're trying to reach back down to 76 and 75, it looks like. Flip of the order book here. Now this is a kind of not a very aggressive flip. In fact, it's not really a flip. So never mind on that, because they got filled here. A flip is kind of a nefarious thing. Where I'd love to see it at the same price level. They pull here, add here on the offer, and sellers cut right through it and then cap it on the other side with high liquidity. So anyone that's in here is definitely caught. All right, let me get to some questions in here, guys. If you like these videos in here, please give me a like in YouTube. It's a real help for us. You know, this is what allows us to do this. Is is we get feedback, and one of the ways is likes. Okay, and comments too. You know, that really helps us. All right, let me get to some of these questions in here. All right, because there's a lot of questions in YouTube. I love it though. This is great. Kind of interesting session, since we kind of diverted and then kind of brought it back in. So hold on a minute here. JP, you want me to take a look at Bitcoin? Yeah, why that's it's funny you mentioned that the platform is almost like a cheat. We we've had professional traders when we came out with Bookmap years ago, like professional traders go like, God, this almost seems illegal. You know, they never had any kind of insight like this, you know, to what was going on, and they just wish they had it like years ago, many years ago, instead of like looking at just the DOM. And that was new technology in the 90s, basically. So you can see the evolution here in transparency, which is good. It's all good for us as retail traders. Thanks, Peter, for the nice comments there. Yellow rectangle. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Tony. I know it was a while ago, but I've been drawing on the chart quite a bit here, going over some of these concepts. Anyway, one of the main takeaways is understanding the volume and who's in control in here. You know, all of the kind of icebergs and the stops and you know, putting that picture together was very helpful. But something that's probably going to be more helpful is understanding who's in control in the structure, and where might they not be in control any longer. Okay, because look at the cluster selling in here, and then another one down here. But see how they're like feeling the squeeze. Now, this here though is interesting because you know, the selling started to take place up here, lost its consistency here, but it continued here. So basically, it's a pullback to here. And then this is the volume that has the potential now to be squeezed. Okay, the buyers, the breakout of the structure. And now they're not. In fact, they're going to try to take control here. Let's see if they can. So what are we looking for here? Up in this area here, or even down here at the bottom of the range. Okay, we're looking for buyers up here. We don't have them here. We're looking for them to pull liquidity on the offer. The opposite is happening. Okay, and we're looking for more on the bid. So we don't really have much right now. In fact, if we can get back down here and see the selling, we can drop back down lower, bottom of the range here, and then maybe even follow through. Okay, but the scenario is first it was looking at this buying here to be upended, but they might try to take control. All right, let's see. Thanks, Peter. Best education in the industry, free and paid. Yeah. Well, we'll get more, you know, more and more involved and into more, you know, more into kind of some clarity, I think, with setups and etc. Yeah, Coop, I order flow is a beast. Oh, you mean like okay, that to try to decipher the yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it offers a really nice edge in that kind of clarity that you know, whatever, if you're looking at your candlesticks or whatever it is, and then you see the order flow support that candlestick pattern, great, great, go with it then, you know. Or if it's a, you know, a pattern that you're looking at, okay, we've been covering patterns basically, and you know, head and shoulders or whatever it might be. And it starts with the basic market mechanics, and understanding what makes price move. See how these buyers here can be on the hook now. So the buying happened here, selling's below it now. Okay, squeeze them. Let's hit back down here. Do they have enough selling pressure to reach down here? Here's a retest already. We're also up on the European close, so we're going to get some volatility in here. Yeah, thanks, Joseph. No one ever goes over this kind of stuff. Yeah, they will. I mean, in the future, you know, it's how the markets work, and you know, it just seems almost ludicrous to look at like, oh, well, here's my indicator in a candlestick pattern. Like, that is meaningless in my book. I mean, maybe you have your studies that puts meaning on it. If you have the numbers behind it, that's something else. Okay, but if you can see the orders within that, you're probably going to refine that edge a lot better. I mean, just tons better. I mean, you'll be able to decipher, like, do I want to take this one or not, due to the order flow. So anyway, that would really hone your edge, basically. Yeah, PSC. Yeah, we're here daily. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday we do this analysis. Then Wednesdays and Thursdays we have live trading. Okay, and then every day we have Tom B, who'll start in about 5 minutes. Okay, and this video will redirect right over to it. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, much appreciated, guys. Much appreciated the likes. If you give us a like there, that is much appreciated. Brian, yeah, I saw your question here about iceberg indicator. No one else. It cannot be used on stocks and DX feed. It's only Rhythmic data that has the MBO data, and it's only for futures. So it's required to have that. Thank you, CSM Jazz. Yeah, guys. Well, you know, second quarter is ending here. Third quarter, you know, begins in July. We want to do more in here, and you know, offer you guys more. Yeah, Tom's a beast. He'll go for 4.5 hours a day. Wow. Thank you, Zeb. Okay, I'm still trying to get through all the questions in here. You watch the CVP. Yeah, Jay, from you, I would suggest that if you really like your CVP column and your volume profile trader, there's a lot of things to look at here. Actually, let's duplicate this column and show it a few different times here. Okay, so guys, play around with it. I mean, we're so feature rich here in Bookmap, and we're adding new indicators and add-ons or insights all the time. So let's just take a look at these three CVP columns here. Here, we'll just keep this one regular over here. The one in the middle here, I'm going to configure and I'm going to split it out. Okay, so you can look at the split volume too. Try to understand who might be in control. In fact, you can even reset these. If you have double click reset on double click, okay, reset it, and then look who is in control now, right? Trying to find out, like, it was a bad time to reset it, but yeah, well, buyers coming in. Do we get more up here? See it kind of exhaust out a little bit up there. So let's see if we get some sellers and maybe a pullback back down to here. Right now, this is getting into the minutia, but scalpers look at this all the time. And then the CVP column here, another way to look at it as well. And see the volume node up here. Great, looking for buyers and a push. Right, we have, look at the tilt here in the or the skew in the this is a weak top here. It can be blown. Okay, there's more buyers up here at the top, and so we're looking for a move here. So that's another tool to use with the reset and splitting out. And one more in here which I like a lot, I think it's a really good one, is delta. Okay, and here we have buy plus sell for the composite. Here we have it split out, buyers and sellers, and here we have buy minus sell. Okay, so it shows you kind of control here. So here where there was some selling in this area in here, and then look at the buy-in that came right in. Okay, now here's a retest to those buyers where they took control, basically. All right, so you might want to play around with that delta column, showing you these areas of buyers and sellers in here. I think you'll get a lot out of that. Yeah, Zauli, we just came out with the Execution Pro software. Go to YouTube and you'll see it in there. And adding algos to that is another direction we'd like to go. Thanks, Matt. Like these videos have changed your outlook on trading completely. Just make it objective, and make sure you have an edge. Study. It's through study, and know when you have an edge, and then you just take it as many times as you can, because you know you have an edge. Why wouldn't you? Thanks, Rick. Coop. Let's see. Guys, if you want, like, what really helps us too, really helps us, go to bookmap.com and scroll down to the bottom here. I'll show you. And you can scroll down to the bottom down here, and then click on Trustpilot, and then give us a review in here. It can be about the education, it can be about the product, or it can be a beef, whatever it is. But that really helps us to get some good feedback from you guys. All right, almost caught up. Thanks, Joseph. All right, you got Bookmap after crypto. Excellent. Learning crypto from a friend, years of trading. Awesome. Guys, you crypto guys, and I know there was a request to look at Bitcoin, but here's an edge in crypto. I mean, like, this liquidations indicator it's a part of global and global plus. It's amazing. It's just like stops and icebergs, but basically showing where the exchange is taking control of someone's account because of the margin is not met, and they exit, they force a person's position here closed. And it's kind of sad to see, but like, boy, I mean, this is a level of transparency that's rather amazing in my book. You know, to see here, we can dim this and we can, let's take the candlesticks off. Yeah, so you might want to look into that. For you stops and icebergs guys, this is Binance Futures, works on Bybit, Bitfinex, and FTX as well, but this one's a leverage product. It's the futures, so you'll see more in here. Okay, I don't know if that helps you then, Jay from you, but something to consider with some of those other columns in there. Julio, the indicators in here, this is one of the things that we cover in we'll go through the indicators in Bookmap, no problem, but one of the things that we want to cover and get the point across in here is that order flow rules first. Okay, the indicator and the insight that we got here with the this larger player and understanding this activity that we saw early on in the webinar here had an effect on the market, right? But in the overall bigger picture, let's just zoom out here, and like this is just kind of one event in many now, and you can kind of see though that well, actually it has kind of put a bit of a stop on the move higher here. You know, so it's a confluence though, is my point. Okay, indicators are to be used as a confluence. They can be rather destructive to your account if you're just trading off of indicators. Okay, it's really order flow and context of the order flow here, along with your trading style, and then indicators here to give you the you know, even more confirmation or more confluence. Okay, another one is that I really like is correlated markets. I think what was it, Carmine talked about that in the webinar, and that makes completely good sense to me. Yeah, so Julio, that's the way to always use your indicators, and I've always kind of described indicators as well. Understand what they're doing. That's really key. Understand, like, you don't have to understand the math so much, but understand what is the concept behind it and what they're doing. Because you know, if you want to look at overbought and oversold from stochastics, okay, great. Let's say it's overbought here, you know, and then you see some heavy liquidity, or I'm sorry, some heavy selling down here, and then you see it retest back up here, and you don't see much buying, you know, and obviously this you have to do your studies, and you have to have that study tell you, okay, well then my overbought signal is telling me, like, then I'm looking, actually, because of the order flow here, I'm looking for a retest back down here to 80, you know, something like that. Right? And understand that the stochastics is just like, you know, yeah, in that case I think some of the math would be good to know. Like cumulative volume delta, people, you know, it's so attractive to just go, oh yeah, just look for divergences, boom, I'm in. Yeah, that's just, you know, I think very, very dangerous. Anyway, use it as a confluence, and look for the order flow first. A lot of the things that we've been covering and going over, and then look for the you know, this will give you that nice confluence, you know, these indicators in here. Guys, thank you very much for coming. Good session today, good discussions back and forth. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have a good weekend, and stay tuned for Tom B. He'll be next. This webinar should redirect you right to it. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for coming, everybody. And I will. Yeah. Thank you, everybody over in Discord as well. Thanks, guys. Give us a review if you like on. I'll put that link in here for you. No, I can't put the link in there. You just go to the website, and at the bottom there, click on the Trustpilot. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Look for Tom B, and we'll catch up on Monday. Take care.